Welcome back to Appalachian Dim Sum.
Or entertainment is our comfort food.
And this episode, we're going to be talking about Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex Part 2, The Laughing Man.
Yeah.
Because
we discussed it earlier. It was on my second, maybe my third trip through watching. I know the second time watching it all the way through pretty consecutively. I think I'd seen a lot of it a third time at least. But you were only 12 episodes in.
I had watched the first 12 episodes. And some of these episodes seem familiar. So years ago, I probably caught an episode or two here and there, but I never actually sat down and watched it all the way through.
Back even just to when everybody had cable, I think this was running through the circulation on Toonami, like the nighttime stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be if you just had the TV on while you're doing other stuff at night that this was running.
Yeah.
Kind of miss those days. I liked where you could just have 4 hours of anime that just came on. And
I remember in early, one of the things that really introduced me to anime was in the early 1990s. Sci-Fi Channel had Saturday morning anime, and they would just show different anime properties. So it was kind of like that. I would watch some cartoons in the morning, and then I would switch over to the anime.
Yeah.
But this is going to be episode 13 through 26. That's what we're going to discuss.
I think when you were where we left off from what you'd watched the first time was where the Tachikomas were starting to
gain sentience,
become self-aware, and maybe start to organize a little bit. And really the whole series at that point is kind of, it's like, what is this series about? Because you get a little hint of Laughing Man, but you're doing a lot of, I think that's the dual meaning of the standalone thing. Does have a relevant meaning for the show itself, but it also that there's a lot of standalone episodes that are just. I really think the best comparison for this series is to go back and watch Miami Vice, to where you would get lines where they're chasing like a cartel guy, or some other corruption through their department or something like that. But then in between, like I watched one yesterday that was
Miami Vice.
Ed Bundy from Married with Children,
okay.
where he was an FBI agent that was undercover trying to bust like a porn ring. And this is back in the days where like Vice was actually trying to bust people that produced VHS tapes of that, because there wasn't an internet yet. So, but if nothing of that carries on into another episode.
His hair's all slicked back.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that in Standalone Complex, where it'll be like this cool little character story about an old friend of Batu's or of Kusanagi, or that's not right. What's the captain's name again? I always remember.
Oh goodness, I just call him the captain.
Aramaki.
Yeah,
I said Kusanagi. That's.
I really love that episode where he went to England, and it was all about wine, and he was helping his friend. That was a great episode. Yeah. That episode actually got me to be like, man, he might be my favorite character in this.
Yeah.
Because before that, I just kind of saw him as like your stereotypical chief. Yeah. You know, they go to him and he chews them out, or he gives them some sort of assignment that they have to go do for the episode. But this really fleshed him out as a character and showed how methodic he is.
It's like these dumb robbers come in to try to steal this expensive wine, and like then other people would try to attack. I guess trying to get her. I don't remember why they were trying to get her. So the robbers are kind of caught up in this thing.
And they explain that people who have a lot of money invest in wine because of the way it appreciates.
Yeah.
And so like they're at this winery, and they have all these wines that are stored, and the robbers come in to try to get a specific wine because it's as good or even better than money.
Yeah. But like he just kind of takes over the group of robbers, like, you guys go do this and this. Like, why is this old man telling us what to do? Yeah. It's like, who is this guy? It's like, yeah, he's probably running the most elite, like, secret underground.
He's like, if you want to get, he doesn't say this exactly, but it's like, if you really want to get out of this, you'll listen to me. Yeah. And the guys, they're just like low-level dumb crooks. They're like, okay. It's great. And then at the end of that episode, he's like, okay, well, we got to take you in now. Yeah. He tries to arrest them, but he lets him go.
What I want next from like Ghost in the Shell is I want a prequel series of Bato during the wars, or whichever wars he was involved in. I don't think I've ever read enough to understand specifically what he did, but I think there's like a World War III and a World War IV, and they always kind of portray him, make it look like sort of like he was a Vietnam veteran type thing, but it was in these other things. And that was one of my favorite episodes in the second half, is when he has that old friend that used to be a boxer.
Yeah.
And
well, was it a friend or someone he admired?
I don't remember the detail on that.
I think it was someone he like looked up to. It was like a mentor kind of thing. Yeah.
Just challenge.
That's what it was. Yeah.
They end up boxing in the street at the end. But Bato's, I like Aramaki. I like all the characters in this show. But Bato is my favorite.
I really like how they showed how at the end of everything, Bato did what he had to do. He did what his assignment was. Yeah. But at the end, it showed Bato by himself, no one else, and it showed him like grieve for the fact that he had to do what he had to do. And it's like, that's a soldier Bato for you. He put the mission first.
Bato is he's the Copland sheriff. He's the pure soldier. He gets all these things. It's like, man, is he gonna do the sketchy thing? And he's like, nope, he never does. He's almost like the old westerns, like one of the old lawmen or something like that. But yeah, it's not too long after that they take the Tachikomas out of service.
Yeah, that they just kind of disappear because they start to realize because they share a consciousness. Yeah. But then they start to become individualized and almost specialize in their knowledge.
Like reading
the one like is reading books, like actual books, not just like ebooks. He's reading physical books. And yeah, the Tachikomas realize that they need to keep the fact that they're becoming individuals a secret.
Yeah.
So they decide to be more robotic, like towards Motoko. And that I thought that was a really humorous scene. They were like, yes, Motoko, we can help. And they were like almost mimicking what we think robots should sound like.
That's why we should all be terrified of AI.
Yeah. But this I was kind of expecting from our conversation before the second half of this to go more serialized than it did. It is still very episodic. Yeah. And I think that is just a symptom of the time because like you were saying, like they were still making this to run on TV.
Yeah.
And the networks who paid for these shows, I mean, they've got to fill up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They got to fill up a lot of time. So that's why seasons run for 26 episodes instead of 8 like they do now.
Yeah, there were 26 in this thing. So you had time to kind of work through your Laughing Man arc.
Yeah.
And be like, let's do a side story about this or about that.
And I kind of miss the episodic stuff. I missed here's just a story in this world with these characters that you're getting to know to kind of flesh out who they are.
Excuse me. I like it in this context. We grew up watching the old Pokemon stuff with our kids, and it'd be like, he's going to go to this town to challenge this gym leader. And you're like, oh, that's cool. We get to see him fight this guy in this next episode. But it's like 5 episodes later, it's like they're still trying to get to the town because they stopped and there's somebody having trouble. They think this house is haunted because there's a ghost Pokemon in it. And they go on those little side trips all over the place. And
there's a term, and I think I first heard it because of Dragon Ball Z. Filler episodes, where it's just an episode to be an episode. Yeah. Like it's okay, we're gonna have a fight, but it's gonna take 4 episodes.
That's one thing I don't think any of these really are.
No, I didn't feel like there were any filler episodes.
These side ones are always specific to one of the characters to be like, this is going to tell you a little bit more about this guy, or show you something different with this guy or girl or whatever. And it's I'm not saying this is my favorite series, but it is definitely one of my favorite series.
Now, I do agree that the second half, like the first, it is very much like the first part of this series. You're getting to know the characters. You're getting some single episodes. You're getting a little bit of sprinkling of the Laughing Man. But the second half really solidifies what this series is.
Yeah.
One of the things about the way modern media has kind of changed how they tell stories is, and I kind of point to Mickey 17. I know you haven't seen that, but Mark Ruffalo plays a politician, and it's like very clearly a parody of Trump. And it got me thinking, like, if Star Wars were made today, the original Star Wars were made today, or even back then, okay, the original Star Wars back then, like, you could see that maybe the Emperor is kind of alluding to Nixon or something, but he doesn't look like Nixon. If that was made with the sensibilities of today, they would have given the Emperor like a bulbous nose and a big chin to make him look a little kind of like Nixon. Yeah. And this, and that's one of the things about older media that's great, is the social commentary that they want to give, the things they want to comment on, is always a layer or two deeper. Like that they put it in allegory or metaphor or subtext or something like that.
Yeah.
This could be made today. This standalone complex, the Laughing Man specifically, the Laughing Man story, could be made today explicitly about what happened in COVID.
About everything from 2020 to now.
Yeah, it is ridiculous how much of a parallel there is. And this was made 20 years before.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, these were
15 at that
coming
point.
out in 2003. Most of these were.
So the whole thing with what the Laughing Man was exposing that the government was doing is there's this thing called cyber brain scoliosis.
Yeah.
Cyber brain scoliosis that these kids are having, and adults, and it's like a disease. And they have a vaccine, and they have a micro machine remedy. And the micro machine remedy is effective. The vaccine is not. They push the vaccine and they downplay the micro machines.
Where have we heard that?
And when they explained that, I was like, wait, when was this made? Because it's
I was mentioning
the parallel is uncanny.
I was mentioning that when we were talking about this the first time, but I was like, I don't know how to. I can't.
Yeah, you didn't want to spoil that for me.
I can't talk about this and like not spoil it for you. But it's like there's so much of this it's so good. And like I said, even when they decide that they want to kind of put the blame on Section 9, it's like they literally just come up with like a January 6th thing, and make it. And trying to use the government, like everything's the fault of these guys, even though it's all the government agencies are all doing this stuff. And I was like, wow, like that guy, like he rode in a time machine to like 2020 and 21 and like, I'll write this stuff down. I'm gonna go back and make a story about this.
One of the things that I've kind of got a question about, you might know since you've watched it a couple of times. So the chief set up Section 9 to take the fall. To expose what was going on. There was really never any, like, it got exposed. Okay, so this is what happened. And there was that one guy who kind of was like the scapegoat for the whole thing, right? There was like that one senator.
Yeah, there's a prime minister and another like representative.
And it's like, okay, well, we'll blame them. Yeah. And then, okay, now that's done, and now we're going to bring Section 9 back.
Yeah.
And then everybody's okay with Section 9? I mean, they still call them Section 9?
I don't think I think it was like they've kind of, when they come back, they're not officially them. They're kind of just a secret thing now because they're funded and all that stuff. But it's just they're not going to operate the same way that they were. Right. I haven't watched the second.
Well, it's got to be the second season.
The second gig.
Yeah.
Because where is that?
Well, I always kind of got the feeling that they were a bit black ops anyway.
Yeah, just looking at the very first part of the first episode of the second gig, it says 2 years have passed since the Umibozi, I guess that's one of the representatives,
senator or representative or whatever,
forcibly disbanded Section 9. In that time, Section 9's members have regrouped, reconstructed their headquarters, and resumed their previous role as a team, but they're not official.
Okay.
So,
well, we'll kind of, I guess we'll get into this in our next discussion about the new anime, because apparently they were kind of a team anyway, and then they got funded.
Mm-hmm.
So that's we'll talk about that in the next episode.
Yeah.
But one of the things that it's kind of bad about watching stuff well after they air, or not watching it as it airs. The episode 25 where Motoko gets shot.
Oh yeah,
that would have, like, if it was while I was if I watched it as it happened and I didn't know, hey, there's a whole other season. Yeah. Like, okay, of course she doesn't die.
Yeah.
that would have blown my mind. I would have been like, oh my goodness. It was great. It was great. Her head just gets obliterated.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, those last couple episodes, the Bato goes and fights the guys that are trying to take down the Section 9. They've got I don't remember what they're called.
They're like mechs.
They're like a big mech suit. Yeah. And Bato's like, yeah, no. Mm-hmm. It's like, come on. They've got guys with the big sort of heavy duty like sniper rifles with the armor piercing stuff, and he's just running around in between concrete pillars taking them out, and then like the Tachikomas show back up.
Yeah.
The three of them.
Right.
Like, there's
the yellow one, the gray one, the blue one.
Yeah. It's like one of them can shoot. One of them's like working in construction basically. So it can
that one has cables. That one has the 3D mobility gear that from Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Looked like the same stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's working in construction, so it basically has cables where I guess it can work on the sides of buildings and stuff like that. And it's using those to wrap things up. And I can't remember, does one of them still have a weapon? They have like one shell left.
The blue one.
Yeah.
He had the one shell. Where did he got that from?
There's an old guy.
That old guy. He gave him the shell, and he's like, oh, okay, great.
I love that fight's coming up. And it's like, oh, they've got this thing pinned. They're going to kill it, and they try to fire the shell off, and it's like,
it's a dud.
You're like, no.
It gets stuck in the nozzle in the
gun barrel.
Yeah, the tank barrel.
The tank barrel.
And I really liked when the Tachikoma saw Bato, and he was like, goodbye, Bato, and a bit of that like natural oil leaks out of the quote unquote eye of the Tachikoma as they like pull each other together and just hits the gun barrel. Pink, boom. Is it what wonderful animation in this? And that's one thing I would have to go back and double check, but I feel like the second half of this was animated a lot better than the first half of this.
Well, like I said, I think when I was talking about it in the first half, I looked up, episodes were like up to like $300,000 and $400,000 an episode for this thing. So they were putting some resources into this. That's a heavy budget for
there were a few episodes early on where like Motoko just kind of looks funky. Like it looks like she was drawn quickly.
Yeah.
But toward the end of the series, every frame could be framed. Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful series. It really is.
So let's explain the Laughing Man.
Okay.
And if you haven't seen the series, if you're watching at this point, we're going to spoil what's left. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole introduction of the Laughing Man is that he becomes this like public thing. He on camera kidnaps the CEO it was
the vaccine company.
Yeah,
right?
the major micro machine corporation.
Yeah.
And
he's trying to expose the fact that
the first time does he shoot the guy on camera?
I don't think so. I don't think he actually shoots him.
Okay. He's like holding him at gunpoint stuff. It's like,
yeah, it's in public though.
The cool thing is, I don't know if you have the image or not. It's right there in the middle.
Yeah.
He's a hacker. He's hacks into everything. And even like people that encounter him, when they see him, they see that little like symbol.
It's the laughing man symbol, and it like gets superimposed over the face. And because everyone has these cyber brain implants, even people who they consider like not enhanced, they still have the cyber brain implant, kind of like everybody has a phone. They see this symbol over the guy's face.
I love it. It's towards the end of the series. Bato has chased him outside and has him right
Where'd
there.
Where'd you go?
And like he hacks into Bato's eyes and just makes himself to where Bato can't see him. And he's just like the super high level hacker. But yeah, it becomes this like sort of public thing. I don't know if you can explain it better.
Well, he almost becomes like a Robin Hood type character. Like he gains popularity and people like what he's trying to do. I don't. Why did he go underground?
I don't.
I think he was just being pursued by officials.
Yeah.
So he kind of went underground, and then other people started doing things, saying they were the Laughing Man.
Yeah.
So like there are all these disparate hacking attempts. That was one of the things that kind of confused me. I was like, well, what is the Laughing Man trying to do? But that's because there were all these people doing other things, and they were claiming they were the Laughing Man when they really weren't.
I think it's in the first half of what you watched where Major goes into, it's almost like a Reddit forum, but it's like a bunch of guys sitting around, and they're all
on
just
the table.
They're sitting around like in a little virtual room talking about their conspiracy theories about who the Laughing Man is, and all these guys are supposed to be the little experts on the Laughing Man.
And I thought for a while that like the Laughing Man died, and I think it's you wanted to think that
he's there, isn't he, in that room?
Yeah.
He's like there listening too. I think Major kind of like keys into that somehow. I don't remember that detail, but she's there looking for him, and actually I think he's there. Does he get into her brain in that scene? There's some.
I don't think it was then. It might have been.
Like she lets somebody dive, or she dives into somebody's brain there, and almost gets like hacked and taken over. But...
And the first time we actually see the Laughing Man is when Toga goes to the facility that was treating the cyber brain.
The kids.
Yeah, the cyber brain scoliosis. Or the closed shell syndrome, not the scoliosis.
Yeah. And
he meets, what's the guy's name? Ao?
Yeah, the actual guys.
He meets Ao, and that Ao turns out to be the original Laughing Man.
Aoi,
yeah.
Aoi. AOI is the guy's name.
Aoi.
If you say that in Southwest Virginia, it's because somebody just hit your thumb with a hammer.
and they Aoi, and they end up figuring out exactly what the Laughing Man was doing because they were, investigating these other incidences of the Laughing Man.
Yeah.
And what he was doing is he was trying to expose the fact that they were hiding the micro machines. I keep thinking like I might have it opposite. It was the vaccine and the micro machines. Which one worked?
He kidnapped the CEO of the Micro Machine Corporation. Yeah. So I guess.
Well, I guess
I guess it's because the vaccine worked and the micro machines are what they were trying to push.
Yeah.
I think that's the way that goes.
So yeah, it was the yeah. Let's see. Cured.
But he has like basically he had like, it's almost like the Epstein files. He had like the huge like sort of file database on all of the stuff that I guess he eventually turns over to Major and to Aramaki. And it's kind of cool. Like they actually offer him a job to come hack for Section 9.
Yeah. which he said no thank you.
Yeah, he's like, nah, I don't think so.
Okay, yeah. So the micro machines were experimental nanomachine therapy for the disease. And the Murai vaccine was an actual cure. So they were trying to push the micro machines, and that's why I got the micro. I had that backwards.
Yeah,
they were trying to push the micro machines, but when they actually had a vaccine that could cure it, they were okay with people continuing to have the scoliosis when they could cure it, so that they could push the micro machines.
Yeah. Because when he kidnaps him the second time, he's talking to him in the cafe, the CEO guy, and like, why didn't you tell the truth about the vaccine? And,
yeah. Money. It's always money.
Yep. Yeah. But they actually think they have him at one point, and it's Major is basically dressed up like him,
right,
posing as him,
right,
because she's already received all of the information from him, and I don't know. It is a really cool sort of police mystery back and forth with the character. I'm not sure if we're describing it that well.
Well, I mean, when you watch it, there are times where you're kind of trying to figure out what's going on at the time.
Yeah.
It is very much a political intrigue, a political mystery kind of plot. So it does get dense because they'll talk about one like senator or one representative, and unless you're really good with names, I have a hard time keeping track of everybody.
Yes, the prime minister is the one that's using the special forces. He actually has a special forces restriction bill that he uses against Section 9. God, is that the episode where they go to like a barge and are on like there's a tower? They're fighting those guys up and down. That's an awesome episode. I can't remember which one it is.
I had an episode list that I just clicked away from.
Yeah, that's another. If you'd like the sort of gun battles and stuff in the Ghost in the Shell stuff, I think they're trying to capture one of the operatives or something they go that there's like a little town with little shops and stuff down below it, and there's this big tower, and the government guys show up and they all
Is
fight.
that when Togusa gets hurt?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he spends a couple episodes in the hospital, and you see both Bato and Motoko kind of go off the rails a little bit because their friend got hurt. It was great. I mean, that's all I really have to say about specifically the Laughing Man. I do want to mention something that I kind of, I've said before that I'm really interested in, like the way the machines and the ghosts and all that like has an interplay in the body. Like I still don't know when they say a cyber brain. I don't know what they mean by that. Like inside, I really want to know what inside of Togusa's head looks like, because in my mind, I think I said this before.
I always thought that like he has something like a device that would almost be sort of like your earbuds or something probably in his head that probably plugs into his eyes and has to plug into his optics, because that gets hacked where you can't see.
Yeah.
He gets the Laughing Man thing put over his eyes early in the show, and then they're always able to communicate. So it's got to be hooked into his audible stuff.
So he might have like a Neuralink kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's probably more like that. I think when you get the cyber brains, it's like
it's like they put your brain inside of a shell, like a mechanical shell,
or they're just downloading the information from what you had in your brain into something mechanical,
right?
And even though it has your consciousness, but I don't think it's like it's a flesh and blood thing at that point. But that's the sort of the whole idea of the ghost in the shells. Like even though it's not a physical material and it's not one of God's creations parts, that there's still a soul that's bouncing around there somewhere. That's the whole idea of the ghost in the shell.
Watching this and thinking about this series with the current technology that we have with AI, I think it gives you an interesting perspective on it. So like I was kind of thinking of like Motoko and Bato as kind of like humans who have had an AI implanted in them. And so like what we know as Motoko is like the AI driving her body.
Yeah.
Now it's an AI that has been trained on her. So it has all of her motivations, her personality and everything. And I think the ghost might be like her actual consciousness who's just along for the ride, talking to that AI. That's how I'm like conceptualizing it now.
I think one of the most interesting kind of trips into that's not an anime is that movie Her.
Yeah.
Where Scarlett Johansson is like the little AI.
She's like Siri. And Joaquin Phoenix falls in love
with, and he thinks like, and she's perfect for me and all this, and then you find out it's like when she's logged off, or even like while she's functioning with several people at the same time, that she's.
Well, I think it's kind of like
she's having relations.
Like there are multiple versions of her, but they're all the same. It's all her.
It's all one.
Yeah.
One intelligence. So he thinks that he has exclusive relationship with her, and kind of always think that about Motoko a little bit. It's like is there another thing just like her somewhere else that just maybe doesn't have all the same experiences or memories or something? But
I think that's what the ghost part is. It's the part that it is the singular part that makes her human.
I've said before that this is called Standalone Complex because there's a lot of episode things that are standalones.
Yeah.
The other part of that is talking about the experience that everybody had with the Laughing Man and all that, is that they define it as a standalone complex as a sociological phenomenon where multiple individuals influenced by a shared ideology or meme independently act as copycats of a supposed original figure. And I think that's where he didn't have to do that much hacking and things to kind of keep his identity out in the public, because everybody just started doing things in his name. And
the Laughing Man was an individual. When he stopped doing what he was doing, other people started doing what the Laughing Man was doing, and then the Laughing Man became something that was apart from the original.
Became V for Vendetta.
I was thinking Batman. Yeah. Like Batman's all about like, it's not me. It's the bat is the symbol. That's what's important, is that the symbol inspires people. And
do you have it pulled up to what it says around the circle of the thing? I meant to pull that up. The little symbol that always pops up and like covers his head. It looks like a little smiley face with like a sideways baseball cap, but it has this little text around it. And every time it came up, I was always trying to read it. And
I thought what I'd do was I'd pretend I was one of those deaf mutes. That's from Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there was several references to Catcher in the Rye in this thing.
Yeah. And they do, because we did note when we talked about the standalone, the Ghost in the Shell Innocence, how Togusa and Batu would like trade quotes and stuff. And towards the end of the series, they do kind of get into that, especially when Motoko is talking to the Laughing Man. They kind of trade quotes. Like they'll say a quote, and the other person will be like, "That's this person."
Yeah,
that's definitely something. If we ever get AI, I'm sure it will happen in like AI to run in our brain. That's the kind of stuff that people will do. Is they'll be like just quoting stuff that the AI just looks it up.
You just become Bumblebee.
Yeah.
You answer everybody with the song lyric.
Yeah. Right. But it's a great series. Yeah. I can't wait to watch the second season.
Yeah, and it's one of those things I know it takes a lot of time to do. It really is good to just kind of go through it one time, and then when you have time, go back and watch it again. Because you see new things every time you watch it, and you pick up on stuff. And when you're not chasing the story as much and kind of getting confused by like what's happening, I think you're able to appreciate a little bit more of how well wound together this whole story is. Like, so there's nothing in here that doesn't kind of come back around. Like, so even the Tachikomas, you think it's like, well, they just disappeared.
That's so great.
I mean, they come back at the end to basically save
the day.
Major from getting destroyed by this big mech thing that the government's trying to use to take out Section 9. So
there was a scene. This is really the last thing I want to say is that I really enjoyed the scene in the last episode when Bato brought Togusa to the like underground Section 9, and all the guys were ribbing Bato on when Motoko got shot, and he thought she was actually shot. They were making fun of him. Motoko. I loved that. That was great.
Yeah, Bato's like the guy that big giant guys like you really want to make fun of him. He's the guy like punches you in your arm and you're like no. Yeah.
That was I wish I felt like there was more of that camaraderie, because you knew they were a team and everything, and there was a lot of Motoko and Bato. Like that relationship was really well defined.
Yeah.
But like all the other guys just always seemed just like background.
That's why I say it's Miami Vice. I mean, it's Crockett and Tubbs.
Yeah, that moment of like camaraderie there. Yeah. I just loved it. I wish we would have seen more.
There's 10, almost I think maybe 12 different people that are sort of in the same office with the guys in Miami Vice, and they help out in different ways. They're surveillance guys. It's very much like this. Mm-hmm. But you might
guys are the
you might get an episode or two that might be more this guy he's kind of the focal point of this like one episode, but that's it. I think that's why I like the show so much, is just because I didn't really discover anime until after the early 2000s.
And this was old by the time you discovered it.
I grew up watching stuff like Miami Vice. So yeah.
Let's Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, The Laughing Man.
There you go. Later.